Yeah. Hello. All right. Hello. It is 4:31. Got anyone here? Anyone? Hello, hello. Hey, Ray Dang. All right. Hey, Evan. Um. All right. Let's do the drill. Let's do the drill. Mic check. Audio check. 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 Hey, Leppy. Hey, Leppy. Yeah. Audio check. 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 1, 2. Check. Check. Everything goes fine. Video, audio, video quality. Are we good? All right. Well, good. Well, folks, this is it. This is the last Twitch session for Introduction to Security at Tufts. It's the last one of the semester. Hopefully, we'll be back in the fall. All right, hey, Tangled Chris, how are ya? Yeah. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure being with you for the last, 12, 13 weeks. Um, Totally, absolutely loved every minute of doing these Twitch streams. Been doing these, hard to believe that, what was it, fall 2020, spring 2021, fall 2021, and spring 2022. Four full seasons on Twitch. Yeah, 4 full seasons. Loved every minute of it. I still have never received a penny from Twitch in terms of any revenue, if you can believe that. Still have not received a penny from Twitch. Um, but it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to doing this again in fall 2022. Uh, every so often, I'll be popping on Twitch during the summer. Yeah. Before I Before I start today's session, I want to bring to everyone's attention public service announcement. Thanks to Russell, my buddy Russell Butterini. He has, good buddy of mine. Hey, Russell. That's one, wherever you are. Oh, yes, congratulations to you and Christy on your marriage recently. Brought to my attention today that the information on the B-Side Las Vegas conference is now available. It's at bsideslv.org. Yep, the information is now available, made available today. B-Sides is going to be on August 9th to 10th in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, right before DEF CON at the Tuscany Hotel and Casino. They're going to be back in person. But there's going to be a bunch of changes this year, including they won't be including badges with hotel rooms. So in the back in the day, you could book a hotel room for B-Sides Las Vegas at the Tuscany, and you also get a badge for B-Sides Las Vegas. That's not going to happen now. And apparently, I think there is a minimum donation you have to make now, which is $100 to go to B-Sides. That's fine. If you want to participate, there is now the call for papers, call for volunteers, call for volunteers, call for papers, donors. The call for papers will be of interest to you. Hey, SJS Smiley. Its deadline to submit is May 10th of 2022. That's not that much time. But I mean, the good news is you don't need to submit the full paper. You just need to provide like an outline of your work. All the tracks, details, proving ground. I mean, breaking ground, common ground, password con, ground floor, ground truth, higher ground if you're interested in hiring. I am the cavalry. And this year, the Proving Ground, which is a place for first-time speakers in the information security circuit and cybersecurity circuit, there's some big changes in the Proving Ground program and how it works for this coming B-sides. So the details of B-side Las Vegas are now up. Um, the call for papers is now up. Have fun. B-side Las Vegas is going to happen. It's going to happen this year in person at the Tuscany Hotel and Casino on the same week as Black Hat and DEF CON. Yeah, so a trio of all things they call cybersecurity or information security summer camp will happen in person in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada in August of 2022. Hope to see you there. All right. So, today, what we're going to do on this um, very last Twitch session of the semester, also known as Season 4. And today, I'm going to talk about the lessons we have not learned in the last decade. Today's a sobering presentation because it is um, I'm gonna talk about the lessons that we have not learned in the last decade. In other words, this you can also title this presentation of today, um, if I am going to rage quit cybersecurity, or if I want to go on a blowout bash, this is the way I am going to do it. Okay? So I am going to start off with a little bit of a motivation here. Here is their little motivation. Have anyone ever heard of the term called buzzwords before? Hmm? So, unfortunately, cybersecurity is known for lots and lots and lots of buzzwords. For products, for startups, and there's a lot of list of bright, shiny objects seen in cybersecurity day in and day out. What we are now seeing in cybersecurity are the following uh, words used and terms used in like products and startups. And I got asked to evaluate startup ideas in security, and they all contain the same shit these days. Advanced persistent threats. This one is the one that I find the most comical because not everyone's threat profile is different. Not everyone's going to be fighting the same battle. I mean, if you are like a small unknown shop and you're dealing with like countries, like, nefarious countries, uh, I find that hard to believe. Okay? The big shops like Microsoft, Google, yeah, I mean, Core and GitHub, they deal with the nefarious countries. That's understandable. But if you're just a small mom and pop shop, you don't need like an advanced persistent threat product. I think every single security product I've seen now that is out on the market has some sort of, like, use the word machine learning. Um, I'm seeing comprehensive cybersecurity. I don't know what that entails. That could be improved. I think I read that as 200% cybersecurity, real time monitoring, behavioral analysis. My favorite, and the one I actually, thanks Russell, is next gen fill in the blank. And who the hell knows what X gen is? I don't know. Okay, yeah. There's also cloud and okay, cloud enabled. I get that everything is moving into the cloud. That I actually kind of understand. But then again, it is actually a pretty well. It also shows well. Unfortunately, everything is moving into the cloud, which is everyone else's computer. Oh, and I might as well add blockchain. I might as well add blockchain on here. Thank SJS Smiley. I mean, it's like okay, what the hell? I mean, the whole idea is with blockchain. It's hilarious because they're trying to what? is looking for a problem to solve. It's one of those, blockchain is one at the moment, is like more or less, looking for problems to solve. Yeah, cloud security is a mess, but it gets actually even better. So actually, I am going to talk about cloud security and everything that's actually gone completely, some things that are just completely wrong with that whole debacle. I'll give you a little bit more of a motivation. Um, Top U.S. Undergraduate computer science programs skip cybersecurity classes. Here are the 61 passwords that powered the Mirai IO Internet of Things botnet. One of the largest hacks yet exposed data on hundreds of thousands of kids. Yahoo says that data says hackers stole data on 500 million users in 2014. Wait, whoa, 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 wait, what do you mean? Here's the sad thing. Here's a really sad thing about this slide here. Now, I'm going to expose a couple of dirty secrets about this presentation in a few moments. But here we are in April of 2022. I think you might be seeing you might have noticed something here. Right now, the one of the largest hack yet exposes data on hundreds of thousands of children. You wouldn't actually have known if that headline was actually written in April 2022 or sometime back in 2016. Top U.S. undergraduate computer science program skipped cybersecurity classes. This actually also is something that you can't even tell if this was written in the early 2010s or in April 2022 because nothing has fucking changed. And even better, if you go to Twitter, my friend Katie Masouras recently had a nice little Twitter rant on that problem. Okay, that yeah, you was like if you take computer science these days, undergrad don't even take don't even know a damn thing about cybersecurity. And a lot of people who teach us cybersecurity had no hands-on skills and experience. So it's like, what the fuck? Okay? And I think I wish I could pin someone else's thread on Twitter, but Katie, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, started a conversation on just how appalling it is when it comes to cybersecurity and in top U.S. undergraduate computer science program. We're talking like the creme like the Harvard, the MITs, and the Stanfords of the world. Also, hey, I want to give a shout out and a congratulations to Jeremiah Grossman. I want to give a shout out to Jeremiah Grossman because recently his company got acquired. Congratulations, Jeremiah. Jeremiah wrote 81 billion, not 81 million, $81 billion later. Survey found 35% of the company suffered 2 or more breaches in the last 12 months. 3 and 5 expected to be breached in 2017. Oh, wait. Why am I showing you a... Wait a minute. So, Jeremiah wrote that tweet in 2017. May 22nd of 2017. Almost 5 years. Almost 5 years ago. So wait a minute. You may be actually seeing something. For some of you who actually know me personally or have actually seen me before in like the speaking circuit like years ago, some things may seem like really eerily similar. This slide, this slide, this slide, and this slide. You may have actually seen these slides here in like 2016 or 2017 or 18 or something. But that's the point. But that's actually the point. Is those motivating slides, those 3 slides I just showed you from a presentation that I gave in 2017. So here's the crazy thing. I could give the same exact talk from 2017, the one I gave 5 years ago, without any changes to it, and totally get away with it. So, In 2013, Vera Code and Chris Weissoppel gave a presentation. We see the future, and it's not pretty. The predictions. You take a look at the predictions that were on the picture on the right. Average CISO's Chief Information Security tenure continued to decline. Rise of the everyday hacker, decreased job satisfaction, high turnover for security professionals, default encryption, not opt-in, will become the norm. Is that the predictions in the presentation by Veracode and by Chris Weissoppel were not accurate. They were dead accurate. Okay? Also, what is interesting in the key findings is you have SQL injection and cryptographic issues. Those shit has not changed either. Okay? Their predictions were dead on the spot. It wasn't, I mean, they're just dead accurate. While a lot of things have changed over the years, quite a lot have stayed the same as well. Okay? So let's start with education. Let's start with education. I mean, the biggest changes in education is now finally we've reached a point here. We are in April of 2022 is that colleges and universities are finally offering cybersecurity programs. There's also a lot of cybersecurity programs that are offered online. A lot of them are pretty, some of them are pretty damn good, like Portswigger's Web Security Academy. Okay, so that's what nice. This is a good change over in the last 10 years. This is not bad. I'm not going to actually say this is. I'm not going to go on a vicious rampage and say these are good. These are good. These are good changes. But here's the problem with the education problem. However, with regard to the education, the cybersecurity programs offered at colleges and universities are mostly graduate level programs. Okay, the whole problem with if you walk out of computer science as an undergrad. By the way, congratulations to all the seniors who are going to be graduating this year. Congratulations, best wishes to you. Even if you actually finish a computer science program or an a computing science program anywhere, most graduates will still have no knowledge of security. What is also equally sad is and it happened in this security course, is most students don't even know that these opportunities to learn actually exist online. Okay? K to 12, forget about it. I mean, K to 12, I mean, has been just so broken for years, and the pandemic just really made things even worse. Okay? And a lot of that is not really, I mean, it's just sad. You know, I've said this on day one. If you're in civil and environmental engineering, which is real engineering, you can't walk out of a civil environmental engineering degree without learning about health, safety, critical infrastructure, and security. Computer science, yeah, you can actually walk out after your degree 4 years without learning about security, health, safety, critical infrastructure, and also on a related note. This was actually one of the reasons why I told my brother not to do computer science when he was a student in like 2014. Yeah, I told my brother. Originally, he wanted to do computer science because he wanted, he thought I could get him a job. But I said, don't do it. It's don't do it. And I could not be more happier that my brother chose something else other than computer science and did civil environmental engineering, which I have actually learned and have gone enamored with, because they got the education pretty down solid. Let's talk about application architecture. This is where Leppy is going to go absolutely crazy. Look at application architecture now. The biggest big change in the last 10 years, it boils down to one word: cloud, also known as someone else's computer. That's what it has become. Like, you can talk all about client-server architecture, clients, all these database servers, Redis servers, Memcached, and all this stuff. But now, no one thinks about that stuff. You only think about one word: cloud. And here's the great thing, is that, yeah, sure, everything is moving to the cloud, but here's the funniest thing with the application security architecture. We're making the same old mistakes that we have been made years ago. So years ago, decades ago, um, we had open FTP servers. That's still a thing today. But now, you want to actually steal data and even more data than you in your wildest dream. You just actually just pop open some open S3 bucket or open Elasticsearch instance. My all-time favorite, and also because Russell Bartolini and I worked on this for years, is King MongoDB. MongoDB had no security we ever brought, and one of the things is I like to tell people is my two DEFCON talks that I have given in 2011 and 2013, respectively. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. In 2013, I said MongoDB is like it's just a cesspool because in terms of security, it's great for dumping data. Don't get me wrong, it's great for dumping data. Key value pair, spot on. But one of my big underlying message of my DEF CON talk was there was no security built in. All you need to do is just connect to it, you generally with no username, no password, and voila, you get all the data that you want. And I like to tell people that that talk and that lesson learned in 2013 is like the gift that keeps on giving. Now you've seen not only open MongoDBs of the world. Hell, that's how all the election data, all the voter databases are stolen. But now you get like S3 buckets that are open and Elasticsearch databases that are completely open. No, they don't have a password. This is not like MySQL or Postgres, or Oracle, where you actually have to create a user firsthand. No, they don't. There's no username and password. So one of the funny, on a related note, one of the reasons why I no longer teach web programming for undergrads, it was a good time for me, was I don't regret teaching about MongoDB in web development, because it really just showed how open the MongoDB is, and also how to do things wrong sometimes. Yeah. Data privacy. Okay, we have an alphabet soup when it comes to U.S. data privacy law, at the federal and state level. At the international level, there's now the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, which you hear all the time, which you hear on the news all the time, because of the big companies like Google and Facebook and Apple. So here's the whole thing about data privacy. And this is something I did not mention in class. I did not talk about privacy in class, because I usually defer that to Susan Landau, because she's a world-renowned expert on privacy and data privacy laws. But the problem with data privacy is, what's the point? Like when companies and institutions, they collect so much data, and they know they get broken into. Okay, commiserations to if you used to actually want to go to buy, get data, that data dump, you'd go to RAID forms, which recently just got shut down by the FBI, by law enforcement. Look, how about voter databases? How about voter databases? There's been a plethora of voter databases that were just popped by SQL injection. And in my previous slide, open databases and buckets are there for the taking. Okay? Leaky application programming interfaces, APIs, that still exists. And, I did mention RAID form, which recently got shut down by the feds. But it doesn't matter, because, you still got places for underground form that sell data on the cheap. Back in 2000 and in the 2000s, if you try to buy a data dump, let's say things like credit cards, for example, they were kind of expensive. But then, of course, as everything kept on getting popped and getting hacked into, data, for credit card data, they were like pennies on the dollar. And like voter database information and personal information, that's now like in pennies you can buy them for. Okay? Hey, how are we doing with these problems, huh? How are we doing with these? Phishing and social engineering, password reuse, weak passwords, denial of service. Oh, I forgot this one. How about this problem that I didn't even mention? And this is one thing I do have a regret. Aren't we still clicking on links in emails when we're told not to do? How many of us actually receive emails and we still click on the links? I mean, this was a message that we were given even before I even got interested in this thing called security. But aren't voter databases essentially public? Yeah, but anyone can pretend to use them for campaign purposes. Yeah, that's the thing. And usually, if for voter databases, um, you can look up information, but it's but what if you want to get a complete dump of hundreds of thousands of record all in one shot? Voter databases are essentially public. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyone can pretend to use them for campaign purposes. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that you can use, like, for example, like SQL injection, for example, and you can dump all like 500,000 to 1 million plus records all in one shot. So you get to see everything. That's the issue. How about geopolitical changes? Now, one of the things in the last 10 years that has been a double-edged sword of a change is early in the 2010s. I mean, cybersecurity news, you'd be lucky to make page two. Now, cybersecurity, it's like on page one of your favorite newspaper or your favorite media outlet. Back then, we didn't even need to mention, the whole idea of tying cybersecurity with foreign countries, almost unheard of. Now, cybersecurity is a full blown international crisis with certain countries being named all the time. We have critical infrastructure that actually get hit all the time: hospitals, schools, utilities like water and power plants. Okay? It's now impossible to read it's impossible to pick up a magazine or a newspaper without seeing an incident, and also without being a country being named. Okay? So geopolitical change is this has been a big change over the last 10 years. I mean, I guess this is somewhat of a good thing, especially for those who actually work in cybersecurity, because for most of the 2000s, you know, people thought that the hackers were like the people who actually were like in hoodies and lived in their parents' basement and just hide away. Now, full international, like, countries have their own cyber armies. Where the hell do we go from here? So we only got a couple of options. Number one is the easiest option. Is number one is don't do a damn thing, no changes, just business as usual. Well, option number two is extremely hard and also really expensive in terms of money and time. Is you want to need some draconian changes that requiring cybersecurity education at the K to 12 level, because we know that right now kids are not getting that, let alone in college. Okay. Um, One thing is, I know that the government now, in order to actually do business with them, you provide something called a cybersecurity maturity model certification. I mean, this is definitely a good step to actually say, yeah, you really, really got to care about cybersecurity when you do business with the government. So this is a good thing. It's sometimes, and last time I checked, a long time, like for years ago, wasn't it the Department of Defense that actually basically mandated, because of the threat of nuclear war, we got to implement physics in like K to 12 level. I think that's how the story goes. And now you see physics being taught at the K to 12 level. Uh, Perhaps that needs to be something need to be done from the top, from at the very top, with cybersecurity education. Because look, cybersecurity problems are not going away anytime soon. So if you're actually looking for what the hell to do, like what option, what tangible things that you can do, well, to protect yourselves or to invest in. The immediate thing is to invest in a password manager, multi-factor authentication, and input sanitization. I mean, if you take a look at any pen test, I mean, most of how systems get popped, weak passwords. Okay. In the immediate term, don't call it a comeback. Invest in no tech or old school technologies. Uh, I'll give you a perfect example. The U.S. Navy has always been concerned because we are going high tech. You know, GPS systems and satellites will get attacked. So now the U.S. Navy is now resurrecting the good old art of celestial navigation. What is my favorite password manager in two fat? Yeah. That's I sure. Yeah. I'll get to that in a few minutes. I'll get to that in a few minutes. I can tell you what it is. It's Bitwarden. I use Bitwarden. I know there's like a ton of like LastPass, One Password. One Password is good. I heard everyone is legit. I've only heard good things about One Password, but I use yeah, most browsers have a good password manager now. The problem is you need something like I need something portable. The thing is most browsers have it, but look, what happened but the thing is that the browser is one thing, but now you use stuff on mobile devices, tablets, secondary computers. So you need to have a password manager that can work everywhere. Yeah, Authy is people use. I actually use Duo because Tufts actually requires two-factor authentication, and they use Duo. So I've used Duo for years. Plus, it's nice to have friends over there too. So I use Duo for two-factor authentication. I use and I use Bitwarden for my password manager. Um, Long-term invest in cybersecurity education early. This is not just for us, but this is for anyone. Because look, it technology is so ingrained in our lives, and it's kind of hard to pull out now. Um, Continuing, look, we have a serious education problem, especially with people who are the power brokers. Communicate with people, especially who are non-technical and policymakers, because yeah, they're interested in cybersecurity. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Policymakers and business leaders, they're all very, very interested and very, very interested, seriously interested in cybersecurity because there are implications with business, national security, you name it. But in terms of the education that they have in terms of cybersecurity is practically none. So connecting and communicating with the non-technical folks and especially power brokers goes a long way. Simple systems. These are something I missed because now technology, the infrastructure has just been way too overly complicated. And you know when things get complicated, the more bugs and vulnerabilities that there are. Perhaps the last resort, if all else fails, then this is where the heavy hand of legislation will be necessary. But that's an absolute last resort. Okay? So, what am I trying to tell you here? But for now and for the future is this. And here's the underlying message of today. In 2007, I heard a presentation from the FBI that read Crime Does Pay. And here we are in April of 2022. Crime will continue to pay and will continue to pay very well. Think of things like ransomware. Cybersecurity skill shortage? Look, we've been playing this game for so long. And in fact, I actually made a list of all the news articles that I have actually collected each and every year from 2010 to now. I need to add something with 2022 on how long we've been playing the game of cybersecurity shortage for. I mean, if you're playing the game of we need cybersecurity talent for the last so many years, you know that there's something horribly wrong. Okay? This is worse than the boy who cried wolf. There will be another executive order on improving on the nation's cybersecurity. This could be like a big, if you like, I don't drink anymore, but you can actually make a nice bingo card of these things each and every year, the same card. 5 years from now, someone will be giving a presentation on what SQL injection is, what DDoS is. And then one last thing I'll just say, and I'll just say it here. I can give the same exact presentation the way it is, no modifications necessary, and I can still get away with it. Okay? In fact, I have been doing that for the last since last summer. I've been giving this presentation year in like for the last like almost a year now. I gave this presentation on June 23rd, almost a year ago, at Ed Rojas Tactical Ed Virtual Summit 2021. And the start lesson is this: look, I'm going to give the same exact presentation in the fall of 2022, in the spring of 2022. You know, no changes to the title. The only thing that will change is the date, and I can still get away with this. You think about that in terms of how much we have progressed and where we are in cybersecurity. Like I don't think that there will be a day, and I actually have said this to people. Like, you actually get me on to give the Black Hat keynote one of these days. I'll just give the same exact presentation right now, and I can totally get away with it. And that's all I have for today, folks. Been fun. Been a fun, what, 3 months. Yeah, so the password manager I use, SJS Smiley. Bitwarden. Bitwarden, you can. The reason why I need Bitwarden is I got so many systems out here. I got mobile, tablet, desktop, laptops, and just being a browser is not good enough because like if I need the password manager on my phone, I need some password manager on the phone. Like, look, I need a password manager that can be used ubiquitously. So I use Bitwarden. It's also open source. And there is an option, which I like the pricing. If you want a personal option, I pay $10 a year. Holy shit. Hey, thanks, Gar. Thank you so much. I need to step up my Twitter game because I have no idea really what gifting a sub is. Thank you so much. Well, folks, that's all I got. I'm telling you, I'm going to give this presentation again from now on without any changes, and I can get away with it. Want to play games during finals week? Yeah, what games? What games we got? What do you have in mind? SJS Smiley. Thanks, Tango Tris. Thank you. Thanks, Leppy. Thanks, Leppy. SJS, what you get for ooh. We want to do that? I've never played Dead by Daylight. I can do Among Us. I would do that. I mean, that would be awesome. Holy cow, that would be awesome. And the nice thing about Among Us, we can play virtually. Like, we don't need to be in physical space. I mean, we can be anywhere that we want. Let's do that. SJS, let's do that. Thanks, CS Learning. Been a pleasure. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a few Among Us games going during finals week. All right, I'm going to sign off now. I think this is a good time. Can we get a presentation? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, and the great thing is, there was a video. This was the actual video of the conference from last year. If you go to YouTube, love this one of my favorites. Like, I'm looking at this presentation and like your last few words, I cannot agree more. Like, it is so true. Like, you gotta have the hands-on dabbling skills. And honestly, that I think has been, as of recent, one of my biggest struggles at a university environment is the culture is not like that at all. And when you tell students, like, this is the way that we learn cybersecurity, like, you have to dabble, you have to tinker, you have to, make mistakes. And they don't get that yet. They just don't get that.
Sure. Again,
And the funny thing is that I'm not whole, and I don't actually need to apologize for anything that I said. Well, folks, yeah, let's get some Among Us games during finals week. Let's do that. Thank you so much, folks. Signing off.